Hinduism and Buddhism are two distinct religions with their own set of beliefs and practices, although they share some similarities due to their origins in ancient India. Here are some key differences and later similarities between Hinduism and Buddhism. Concept of God. In Hinduism, there are multiple gods and goddesses that are worshipped, and they are seen as different aspects of one ultimate reality called Brahman. Buddhism, on the other hand, does not have a concept of God or a supreme being. The caste system. Hinduism has a rigid caste system, which places people in social classes based on their birth. This system determines a person's social status, occupation, and even whom they can marry. Buddhism, on the other hand, rejects the caste system and emphasizes equality among all individuals. Reincarnation. Both religions believe in the concept of reincarnation, but they have different interpretations. In Hinduism, reincarnation is seen as a cycle of birth, death, and rebirth, with the ultimate goal of achieving moksha, or liberation from the cycle of rebirth. In Buddhism, the goal is to break the cycle of rebirth altogether and achieve nirvana, a state of ultimate enlightenment and liberation. The Four Noble Truths. This is a central concept in Buddhism that states that suffering is inherent in life and can be overcome by following the Eightfold Path. Hinduism does not have an equivalent concept. The role of the Buddha. In Buddhism, the Buddha is seen as a teacher and guide who showed the path to enlightenment, but he is not worshipped as a deity. In Hinduism, there are many gods and goddesses who are worshipped, but there is no single figure who holds the same central role as the Buddha does in Buddhism. Here are some more key differences and similarities between Hinduism and Buddhism. Differences. Scriptures. Hinduism has several sacred texts, including the Vedas, Upanishads, and Bhagavad Gita, while Buddhism has the Tripitaka, which includes the Sutras, the Vinaya, and the Abhidharma. Rituals and practices. Hinduism has many rituals and practices, including puja, worship, karma yoga, action-oriented spiritual practice, and yoga asanas, postures. Buddhism, on the other hand, emphasizes meditation, mindfulness, and ethical conduct. Goal. The ultimate goal of Hinduism is to achieve moksha, or liberation from the cycle of birth and death, while the goal of Buddhism is to achieve enlightenment and liberation from suffering. Concept of the self. Hinduism sees the self, Atman, as an eternal, individual soul that is separate from the universe, while Buddhism teaches that the self is an illusion and that all phenomena are impermanent and interdependent. Salvation. Hinduism teaches that salvation can be achieved through devotion, knowledge, or action, while Buddhism teaches that salvation can only be achieved through personal effort and realization. Similarities. Origins. Hinduism and Buddhism both originated in ancient India. Reincarnation. Both religions share the concept of reincarnation, where a person's actions in one life determine their fate in the next life. Nonviolence. Both religions emphasize nonviolence and the importance of living a peaceful life. Compassion. Buddhism and Hinduism both place great emphasis on compassion for all beings. Meditation. Both religions emphasize the practice of meditation as a means of achieving spiritual growth and enlightenment. Karma. Both religions believe in the concept of karma, where a person's actions have consequences that can affect them in this life or in future lives. Non-attachment. Both religions emphasize the importance of non-attachment to material possessions, desires, and attachments as a means of achieving spiritual liberation. Concept of Maya. Both religions recognize the illusory nature of the material world and teach that true reality lies beyond it. Ahimsa. Both religions teach the principle of ahimsa, or non-violence, which extends to all living beings. Dharma. Both religions place importance on the concept of dharma, which refers to ethical behavior and duty. The middle way. The Buddhist concept of the middle way, which involves avoiding extremes of both self-indulgence and self-mortification, is similar to the Hindu concept of balancing material and spiritual pursuits. Dependent origination. both religions share the concept of dependent origination, which teaches that all phenomena arise in dependence upon other phenomena, and that nothing exists independently or permanently. Emphasis on self-realization. Both religions emphasize the importance of self-realization and direct personal experience of spiritual truth. These are just a few of the key differences between Hinduism and Buddhism. Overall, there are certainly differences between Hinduism and Buddhism, and there are also many similarities. Both religions offer different paths to spiritual growth and enlightenment, and both emphasize compassion, nonviolence, and the practice of meditation. While there are many shared concepts and similarities between Hinduism and Buddhism, these beliefs ultimately reflect the common cultural and historical roots of ancient India. While there are certainly differences in their beliefs and practices, the similarities between these two religions are significant and important.